good evening, everybody. It's the Cryptid Huntress. I'm Jessica Jones. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. We're going on the hunt this evening with my very good friend, Drewski of Cryptid Warfare Operators and Cryptid Warfare Podcasts. You guys, we have a lot to talk about. I almost feel a little bit flustered. I had a little incident that happened just a while ago. I just got home from it, and it really ties in a strange way to what we're going to be talking about tonight. And that's going to be situational awareness and sneak attacks. I had a real life event that happened to me today, and we're going to talk about that tonight. Yes, I did have to file charges, and yes, there is a police report. Let's just put it that way. You guys stay tuned. It's juicy. Okay. It's very juicy. So, before we get started tonight, you guys, please, if you'd like to follow along with all of my work and everything I'm doing, please go to my website and catch up on all my shows. Okay. And that's the cryptidhuntress.com. Of course, just go to YouTube. Okay, just go to YouTube or Rumble. All of my shows are there. All of my Glitch in the Matrix, my remote viewing show, and On the Hunt are there. And my Spaced Out radio shows are there as well. Okay, but all the events that I'm going to be at, including the East Tennessee Squatch Out, is coming up. That will be in like 2 weeks. I'll be there at a place called, I think it's called Sasquatch Farms. I can't wait to be there. I hope the Drewski will show up and some of the Cryptid Warfare operators. That would be fun. But y'all come see me there. I think all the spots are taken, but if you got a spot, I can't wait to meet you. And it's going to be a great time. Also, if you'd like to support my work and the channel, I have a Patreon, the Cryptid Huntress, over there. And I also have an Etsy shop that's called War Woman Goods. So shout out to all my wonderful clients and supporters and all my YouTube channel members as well. You guys are the best. Okay, well, let's get into the show tonight. Okay, let's get into the show. I just was talking to Drew before the show and kind of going over what happened to me today. And this is a time of, and I know I haven't disclosed what it is yet, but this is a time where we have to be fully aware of all of our surroundings, and that it's our stuff that's happening in our everyday lives. It's stuff that we have to practice in cryptid hunting as well, and that's self-defense and offense as well. Okay, all right. Well, we're going to be talking about not only that, but we're going to talk about the Valley of the Headless Men up in Canada as well. Okay, and I do have Drewski. His name is Andrew from Cryptid Warfare Podcast. And Drewski is a warrior of the Almighty whose devotion to Christ is unwavering. He understands that in the spiritual battlefield, living a life that's true to his faith is crucial. He previously served in law enforcement and worked he worked in SWAT as well. During his time in law enforcement, he served as squad leader and helped with tracking and escape teams to find convicts. In addition to his duties in law enforcement, he also worked in protective custody and escorted VIPs. He even ran a security team of approximately 50 individuals. He has extensive experience in bushcraft survival and very much many years, at least a decade of knowledge in that field. And he has at least 10 years of experience with Bigfoot and cryptid research. And you guys know I went to the Skinwalker cave with him and his team and on a Dogman hunt out in Alabama recently. So please help me welcome to the show tonight, my buddy, Drewski of Cryptid Warfare. Hey, Drew.
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing?
Hey. It's good to see you. Thanks for hanging out with us on a Saturday night over here.
I know. It's like I've been hanging out with you like once a week physically.
I know,
and then,
right?
You know, all that stuff. And then mentally,
yeah,
and then over the phone, and always chit-chatting. So good
yeah,
time.
Absolutely. Yeah, I got to. Okay, so what you're referring to for the audience, we were interviewed on the Confessionals podcast last week with Tony Merkel, and that was an in-studio event, and it hasn't aired yet. Man, I can't wait for that to air, though. It's going to be really good. And you also interviewed Tony in studio while we were there, and that was really fun, too, because I got to be a part of that.
Yes.
So super fun. Yeah. Well, and hopefully maybe you'll swing by the Squatch Out in a couple of weeks. I hope you and some of the boys.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Matter of fact, that's what I'm planning on. Fingers crossed. So I talked to the guys. So there's going to be about a handful of us going up just to say what's up, see what's going on, and just hang out a little bit, and then jet back home.
Yeah. Awesome, awesome. It'd be good just to hang out and do a little Bigfooting too while we're out there. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, we've got a great chat tonight. Everybody's just these comments are going by so fast. I want to give a shout out to all my moderators and everybody in the chat tonight. Y'all keep this show real saucy and funky and amazing, and I love it. Uh, so, so I was kind of alluding to something weird that happened to me today, and so it's so weird how the universe works. Okay, because I wanted to talk to you tonight about um, how we handle things out in the field with cryptids. Let's just say we were to be sneak attacked or something. I mean, I think all cryptid attacks would be sneak attacks personally. Okay, but to have some kind of a attack and having to know situational awareness, and this is all kind of relating to the Valley of the Headless Men up in Canada. I figured we could tie all this together. But today, okay, of all things, I decided to make a quick trip down to my farm. Okay, my family's farm. We have a bunch of land out there and a lake on it, and I like to go out there to take my dog to go swim and to go run around and let my kid go shoot his airsoft and stuff, do some target practice, just go have fun. It was just going to be a quick trip. Okay, and the gate was locked with deadbolts and stuff, and we go in there, unlock it, and we get down to the house, and situational awareness is so key, right, Drew? No
Yeah,
matter
100%.
what
It is.
circumstance.
It's a way of life right there.
Okay, so we get out to we get to down to where the house is and where like the lake is and everything. It's a long driveway, right, out in the country. And we get down there, and some things are just the obvious is a lot of times it's right outside your view, right? Like we're looking at the lake. My dog's ready to get out of the truck and run. So I'm not really paying so much attention to like the corner of where the house is by the house kind of. But there was a truck that had been pulled into the driveway right there and was kind of like hiding underneath the awning of the house. And so I grabbed okay, I do have a firearm, okay, at all times. And turns out there were people robbing the house when I got there. They were literally robbing the house. They were ransacking the house. They were actually walking out. I caught them carrying out a mattress out of the house. They were both carrying it. A dirty mattress too. It was like old and stuff. And I was like, what the hell? But anyways, nonetheless, it was odd, and it could have been super dangerous, and I had to deal with it. Let's just say I had to deal with it, and had to file a report, and they ran off, and I was like filming them. It was so crazy, but it could have turned out okay. It happened, and there was no incident. Nobody got hurt. Okay, they ended up leaving before the police got there, and it was just odd. You know, all that was just really odd. However, so it nothing bad happened to me or my son. Okay, God forbid I would have
Yep.
had to like, you know, I had my weapon. 100% had my weapon out. They saw it. They saw it. I didn't point it at him.
I'm sure your son had his airsoft drawn up too.
He had a table full of them. By the time those people were leaving, he had all his airsofts out on the table. Okay, he was like, when the cops got there, they're like, "Are those guns real?" And I was like, "No." Well, they're my kids. So, but anyways, but it's all about the situational awareness, right?
Yeah.
And the things that we learn when we're out in the field doing our cryptid field research. And you've done in the military, in law enforcement as well. How important is all this? Like learning self defense and offense and what to do in a situation like that.
Well, first of all, it's very good, you know, just to keep your cool, breathe. It's like that box breathing technique they say, you know. You inhale for 4 seconds, you exhale you hold it for 4 seconds, and you exhale for 4 seconds, then you hold it for 4 seconds, and round it goes. Because when people go into stressful situations, a lot of times, if they don't practice, if they're not putting themselves in stressful situations, or they don't stress train, your whole OODA loop is what they call it, shrinks down, and you know, your whole decision making kind of goes out the loop. But if you work out, if you train, you put yourself in situations, and always question all the time, not if it happens, but when it's going to happen. It can be in everyday life, you know, and certain things, like basically like you walking into Walmart, there's an active shooter, or you know, stuff like that all the time. You know, you just never know. You know, like I said,
Yeah.
luck always favors the prepared all the time. So you always just constantly just want your gears to be turning. You know, so
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. Well, my gears are always turning. I'm always looking for threats. I know that sounds terrible. I'm not living in fear. I'm living in alertness. And I'm the mom. Okay, I'm a single parent, and I'm the mom that makes my son sit with his back to the door and my face to the door all the time.
Yep.
And anytime we're at a restaurant or whatever, just so I can be prepared in case something happens. But this was just the gate was locked. You don't expect somebody to be down there. They'd broken in through an opening in the fence and driven through a pasture.
Yeah.
Okay. And the guy told me he did. He told me he did. And then it was just odd because right as he was about to leave, he was like, "Well, can I keep the mattress?" I was like, "No."
No, get out of here. Yeah.
Get out of here. And I was like, "Well, the cops are on their way." I was like, "I'm calling the cops right now." And so yeah. But anyways, it was just odd. I'd never expected myself to be in that situation today.
Yeah.
To have to do that, and it could have turned out way worse. Because I'm, luckily I have I had a clear head though, and was super calm about it. And I have to be calm when you have a kid with
You
you
have to,
too.
because if they see you react, they see you get nervous, and they get nervous.
Yeah. Yes. My son just went and got all his guns.
Yeah, I think your son would have had your back for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
but other than
does.
that, though, you actually handled it really, really well. Nobody got hurt. Your son and you didn't get hurt. They got out of there. And just let law enforcement do their thing. So
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They came down. It turned out fine. Okay. We got the tag number and I got a picture of them carrying the mattresses out.
have you seen
It
these
was
guys
so weird. I don't
watch
know that
it?
I'm sure they probably don't watch the Cryptid Hunters channel, but shout out to y'all. The cops are looking for y'all. Okay.
Get some random comment.
You
First time
better call
sorry,
the sheriff's
Jessica.
department. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
anyways, but that happened to me today. And when I say it, I always end the show with like, keep your head on a swivel, stay safe out there.
yep. Stay frosty. That for all you
Yeah.
guys that know what that means be cool, be calm, cool, and
Okay.
collected. So, but yeah. So I guess we'll go into situational awareness.
Yeah.
Guys,
Do it.
yeah. So guys, to me, that's like an everyday life thing. I always try, for those of you guys who got kids, I like to play this game like with example, like with my kids if we're out doing stuff, to try to work on them when it comes to situational awareness, right? Like as soon as we're driving out of our driveway, I was like, hey, here's the game. We're gonna look for blue objects, right? So we're gonna look for people who are wearing a blue shirt, blue jeans, and to top it off, brown hair. So that way they're just constantly looking, and then by the end of the day when we come back, we tally it up. All right, who won? So boom, 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 boom. Oh, Bailey won this time. Cool. Vice versa. So,
Yeah.
or if we go into a store like Walmart, anywhere, or a restaurant, like, because naturally I go in, I count the exits right away. Like example, like where are all the exits at, you know. And I tell my girls too. All right, pop quiz, girls. Where are the exits at? If something happens,
Yeah.
and they lay them all out, and I'm like, well, you forgot one. It's in the back of the kitchen too. So stuff like that, because if something happens, active shooter, or like a fire happens, you always want to go where the exits are at, and you never want to follow the sheep because everybody goes into one exit, and they basically bottleneck it, and that's just when people get hurt. So, but also too,
Yeah.
I do this thing too. It's called the 5 and 25 method. So for all you guys out there, try this. You're gonna be really surprised on what you see. So if you guys go to Family Dollar, Walmart, the mall, whatever, pull in, don't get out right away. Look around 5 yards, scan from left to right, and just look. And then look 25 yards out and scan left to right. And then come back 5 yards in and scan left to right. You'd be surprised who's looking at you. You'd
Oh
definitely be
yeah.
surprised who's watching you. So,
Oh
anyways,
God.
yeah, try that
Yeah. I
out.
mean, yeah, it's hard. We always it's important for everybody to use your intuition too, and go with your gut. As soon as all this happened, I sent a mass text out to my family. Everybody we got a mass text because this is not the first time people have broken into the house. It's the first time that they've been caught in the act.
Mhm.
Okay, and the guy said that he'd been going there for 2 years. So
God
all the
dang.
break-ins now could be tied to those people,
Yeah,
right?
you're right. Mhm.
So and the house was ransacked. I'd just been there earlier in the week and it wasn't. So, yeah, it's just, but I called my sister's a dispatcher. Okay. I know I mentioned dispatchers occasionally. She's a former dispatcher with the sheriff's department. And
There we go.
she was really upset that I had not called the police earlier But in cases like I was in today, I did what I did. Okay, it's just you do what you do.
Mhm.
Had I called the police immediately, I wouldn't have had that full conversation with him. I would not have gotten the picture and the videos. I was videoing him while I was talking to him. I felt like a Karen. Okay,
Well, not only that too,
I
you're
did.
actually you're out there by yourself, gathering as much intel as possible, trying to process it and trying to make the best decision at the same time worrying about your kid. To me,
Yes.
you did a hell of a job. So, you know,
Thank you.
nobody
Thank
got
you.
hurt. So that was the main thing.
Okay, good. All right. Well, I hope I did the right thing, but we do what you do in the moment.
Mhm.
And so there's no right or wrong, really. It's just everybody, you just want to leave safe. And the only time that I actually felt in real danger was when they backed out. And I had a really bad feeling. And I thought, man, that this guy could shoot me right now or run over me.
Yeah.
And
When you
um,
create
and
that
I
distance.
had a horrible feeling. And that's when it kicked in. They saw that I had a firearm on me too. They knew I had one. I was right there. I was showing it on purpose. And I just felt like, man, he could really hurt me right now. So I jumped behind my truck in case he did try to floor it and run into me. You know,
Yeah. Or
I
start
put some
shooting.
distance between me and the truck. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, FYI too, if you guys don't know, if you do get in a shootout with somebody like Jessica, let's say, boom, that could have happened. The best places to be are behind the engine block or behind the
Mm.
freaking axles. Those are the only thing because bullets eat through cars like butter. So that was basically
Oh
like the
wow.
best thing. So if you get behind your car, get behind the engine block. So just a little
Okay.
FYI.
That is good to know. That's good to know. See, we need these everyday life tips, okay? Because as I'm always saying on this channel, on my shows, it's the world is so wild right now. These streets is crazy.
Mhm.
Okay. And the country is crazy too. Okay. Because that's where I was today out in the country on my property, the property that my family owns. And people were ransacking the house and taking our stuff out and putting it in their truck.
Yeah.
So it can happen anywhere.
Well,
Okay.
I also think too, it'd be good for you to start doing too as well is whenever you go out to that farm, don't just bring your pistol, bring your rifle, bring your AR out there.
Okay.
So you can have more freedom fries to sling at somebody.
Freedom fries.
You
Yeah.
know,
Well, we like our freedom fries. I do. We all do. I know you do. T
yeah.
Bitty 911. I like that
Itty
name.
bitty.
T Bitty.
That's funny.
Thank you for the super sticker. Thanks for all your hard work that goes into for all the work that goes into entertaining and educating us, Jess. You're welcome. Thank you so much. That's so sweet. I appreciate it. You know what? We're just talking about real life stuff that and that includes the cryptids. This is stuff that Drew and I both have experienced as far as what we're going to be talking about tonight. I wanted to bring a real world approach to the cryptid hunting when it comes to I was going to say warfare of it, okay, to the situational awareness of everything. And it just so happened that I did encounter people robbing our house today, and I had to deal with it.
Mhm.
That's something that I just did not expect to happen today. But yeah, I did. If it had been somebody else in my family, it might not have ended so peacefully. Let's
Mhm.
just say, and I do have family who has held people at gunpoint before until the police got there.
Yeah.
Okay, and they told me that I had every right to put a pew pew right in their face.
Yeah. You had the right to. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, so that happened, and let's move on to cryptids now. Okay, let's move on to cryptids. Um, you and your team, and I am so proud to be going out with you guys too on some of these missions.
Well, you are a part of the team now, so it is what it is.
I'm an official part of Cryptid Warfare operators now, so thank you. That's amazing. I have a really good time with you guys, but we're out there doing real boots on the ground stuff, and I respect that. Out of all the guys on your team, and myself now too, uh, we're out there doing the real nitty gritty stuff that a lot of people. I don't know a lot of people that do that at the moment. You know, I mean, I'm on like 4 different research teams now, and we go out there and do the work, but you take a different approach. It's very tactical. Let's just
Mhm.
say.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain kind of what cryptid warfare is about to the audience and like kind of how the process works when you go out?
Okay. So basically, what we do first of all is we try to gather as much information as possible. So like knowledge transfer, intel, stuff like that. Because being prior law enforcement and all that, a couple guys prior military, like that is like our bread and butter is gathering up information on where we're at, aerial shots, the land it's in, the vegetation, what animals are out there. We want to know as much information as possible before we decide to pack certain gear or anything like that. And
Yeah.
we actually also talk to like law enforcement that are there too. And not only that, we try to on the whole medical part of it, right? We try to figure out where the closest hospital is at. So if anything ever happens, if we need to get somebody to the hospital, we need to know where we're going. And yeah, so like I said, just gather as much intel as possible. So that's the main thing. Information is key, guys. Information is key, and knowledge is key. So you don't want to go out there winging it. You really don't, because if something happens and you run into a Sasquatch and you run into feral people or you run into moonshiners, to me,
Yeah.
people are just as bad as dangerous, if not more than than Bigfoot. Just saying.
That's right. That's right. It's kind of like what happened to me today.
Exactly.
Okay. It was just minding my own business on property that I owned. People, they're moonshiners and plant growers, medicinal plant growers, if you know what I mean, illegally out there on people's property, like private property and stuff.
Yeah.
Like people will go plant that stuff on property that you own.
Mhm.
Okay. Strangers. So you have to be really careful. I just did a show on Thursday night. I had remote viewed something that was called the Hand of Unknown Origin,
Mm.
and Barry had given me that as a target, and it turned out I think it was a Bigfoot hand.
Oh, Barry.
And trying to figure out where it came from. The hypothesis is that it was turned into law enforcement at some point, and they gave it to Don Monroe, who's a Bigfoot researcher and adventurer and caver, kind of like yourself, and gave it to him out in Montana. And I think the hypothesis, I guess would be the right word, was that potentially it was picking it was picking leaves or something out of like I'm just gonna say marijuana growing plant or like a plant or something, probably illegal, and there was a trap in it, and its hand got caught,
Yeah,
probably. Yeah. So it happened,
it does.
and the thing lost its hand. I can't say for sure that's what happened, but that's kind of what we figured might have happened
Yeah.
with it. So, or somebody
Yeah.
wielding a machete lopped it off.
Yep, I hear that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing too. Well, it happens a lot in Colorado too. After they passed a law back in 2000, oh no, God, 13 or 15 or something like that, when they legalized marijuana, there was a lot of people out there who owned land in the mountains and stuff, and they busted cartel in them actually in on their land growing this stuff, and they had fields of stuff out there. They sent the FBI in there and stuff like that. It actually got pretty rough out there for a minute, but yeah, you guys want to be careful. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and with my team as well, you gotta really look out. Well, I mean, I'm on your team now too, but I'm just saying my teams that I go out with,
which team
we
you
have to
talking about?
I
No,
don't know. I am so I got a lot of teams here. Uh,
yeah, you got like this black
but
book of just teams you're on.
I know, right? I know. Well, only like a couple of the teams are pretty active right now, though, and you're one of the more active teams at the moment. Okay, because we're doing more. Actually, the guys on my team are jealous. My other teams are jealous of me for going out with y'all. I think not all of them, but I not, and I don't mean jealous. I say that in a funny way. It's not real jealousy. Okay,
Oh,
but it's just like I talked to one of the guys. He was like, "God, you're like the only person on our team that's like really doing some like straight up boots on the ground stuff right now." He's like
yeah,
going out there these investigations with Dogman. He's like, "I want to come."
come on.
So yeah. But yeah, it's so we have to worry about people out in the woods and cults.
Yeah,
Okay.
for
And
sure.
there wasn't too long ago, a guy was held up on a forest road at gunpoint out in Alabama, him and his fiance.
Hmm.
And he pulled his gun out and he ended up dying.
Hmm.
He shot the woman and the woman shot him. And it turns out there was like a whole encampment of people out in this national forest who were like off grid survivalist, almost like a cult.
Yeah,
It was religious, I think, like a
yeah.
religious cult or something.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
that kind of goes into what I was talking about. Before you guys go to certain areas, talk to law enforcement, do a bunch of aerial photos of it, check and see what's going on, and then, like I said, with our team, like when we go there, we try to gather as much information as possible, and then when we get there, we do like a perimeter sweep before we go closing in, and we also do like drone footages too before we even go. We take the drone off, we let it fly out about a good 100 and some yards, 300 yards, and then we let it fly back. That way we can see on where we're going. And yeah, and then also as you're walking, you guys don't want to be bunched up together. because if somebody does, just like in law enforcement or military like that, you guys don't want to be bunched up together because you guys make a big target. So, you
Oh,
guys
that's a
want to be
good
spread
point.
out. Like I said, you guys want to be spread out, and you've been with us, so we're always like spread out in like a single line. Or if we need to, like I call like a scrimmage line, a straight line, and we just walk with each other. So we're always watching each other six, diamond formations, stuff like that. So you always want to have everybody having a good eye on like 360 view. You have your point man, you got your two sides, you got your rear guys. So and not only that, as you're walking, you don't want to be as loud. You want to be quiet, and
Yeah.
also too, you also want to walk about a good 50 feet, stop, listen, look, smell, and then you don't hear anything, and then you keep going.
That's
Just,
super
you know.
tactical, man. I like that.
Not
Yeah.
only that, like I said, you don't want to run into anything because if you just keep going
Yeah.
and walking, you might not hear what's walking on the sides of you. You might not hear anything ahead of you.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Have you ever thought about making a instructional video, like a series or something, or doing some kind of courses on that? Seriously, because people could really use it
Well, I thought
to get
about
some of this
doing
knowledge.
I thought about doing courses. Well, that kind of leads to the business, but I thought about doing
Yeah.
some courses and stuff too. But like I said, now since we're going to be going out on a lot of hunts, I'm gonna see if people want to go. So, but anyways, we'll talk about that later. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, awesome. Amy, thank you for that super sticker. I love you too, girl. Thank you so much for being here. I saw Area 51 left a message that you didn't know if you're going to be here. So thank you for being here. Um, yeah. So, okay. What do you think about the topic tonight? I was actually wanting to talk about the Valley of the Headless Men. Have you heard about this before?
I have never heard of that, but I've heard of cryptids ripping off people's heads. Yeah.
Okay, I have too. Okay, let's think about some cases where people's heads have been ripped off. I know this is kind of gross, and we're not going to get graphic. I don't have pictures tonight, y'all. Okay, we don't have pictures. We're not going to show any of it. Okay, but one of the first cases that I was aware of people's heads getting torn off by potentially cryptids, and I do believe it was cryptids, was in Portlock, Alaska,
Hmm.
back when I think they call it Port Chatham, but back in Portlock they had opened up a cannery or a fishery there,
Fishery
and the
cannery. Yeah.
Bigfoots got mad because they were taking all the resources. And when the men would go into the woods to go cut down trees to build their cabins and their town, put their town together, they would never come back. And a lot of times their body parts would wash up on the ocean or down the river in
Mhm.
the creeks, and they were taking their heads off and stuff too. So that was the first case that I ever heard of. Do you know of any others that you could think of?
Yeah, I know about these two hunters. I was talking about in the missing 411. These two hunters in Northern California. They were supposedly, when it comes to I'll try to find the file and I'll try to find the video I watched on it. It was years ago. I'll send it to you. But they were talking about these two hunters that went missing, and they went to track them and find them, and it turns out they were stuffed up in a tree about good 15 feet up. It's like something grabbed these two hunters and just broke their legs and crammed them into this tree. So when they pulled them out, the heads were missing.
What?
Hmm.
Whoa, that's weird because being crammed up in a tree, okay, because big cats can do that. A lot of times when people say, "Oh, the body was found in a tree, it had to have been a dog man," I'm like, well, I don't know, it could have been a cat too.
Yeah.
Okay, but if their bodies were jammed up in there, I don't think a cat would spend a lot of time jamming that. That's a terrible thing to talk about. I know people are probably grossed out by it, but it's just the nature of what we're doing here.
Yeah. Not only that too,
Yeah.
I've read like forums like on Reddit, but I don't know how true that is. But I like reading a lot. So, but I read some stuff on Reddit and stuff on certain cases where Dogman has actually have ripped off people's heads, Bigfoot, popping them off. And as T says it, if he ever goes out, he hopes that Bigfoot rips his head off and he slurps him down like a Go-Gurt. I was like, what are you talking about, man?
T, by the way, is featured also on the Confessionals podcast with us with Tony and on your podcast. So that's I can't wait. He's a good dude, man. And happy birthday to T, by the way. That was his birthday yesterday, I think. So
Yeah.
yes, Hans. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised I didn't shoot anybody. Okay. But I was prepared to if I had to. But thank goodness it did not escalate at all. It did not escalate to that today. And I'm totally fine. Everybody's good, y'all. Everybody's good. So yeah, I mean, I'm not kidding. That energetic protection every day really helps. Putting on that full armor of God and walking like, and not being timid or meek about stuff too, like not shying away from it and like hiding, like, I mean, I could have just probably, a lot of people, I would advise some women, if that happened to you, get in your car and lock the doors.
Out. Or back out. Yeah.
Back up. If you don't have anything to protect yourself with, get in your car, lock the doors, and just call the police. Okay. I'm different. I'm a different breed. Okay. But I'm not, I was firm. Okay. Firm, I guess you could say. And nice. I did it with a smile on my face.
Now,
and also,
only that, there's that saying too. If you're firm and you act like you know what you're doing, people think you know what you're doing.
Yeah, right. Yeah. 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 So, anyways, like I said, there's a bolo out right now. So I got the faces on camera. So, anyways, let's talk about heads getting ripped off again. Hold on, let's go back to the heads getting ripped off. So at some point in the early 1900s, there were several men who were found in a place called, let's see the name of it, the Nanhani National Park.
The Nanhani National Park in Northwest Territories of Canada.
Yeah, it's total wilderness out there.
The park is known as the Headless Valley. Yep.
Yeah, a huge park. It's in Canada. It's only accessible by air, they say. Like you can't get into the middle of this park unless you take an airplane or a helicopter or something like that. But it's full of course, complex cave systems, rivers, creeks, a lot of water, and pure wilderness and mountains up in Canada. A prime spot for cryptids, right, Drew?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And caves. Something that keeps coming up are conversations about dogmen being in caves and stuff. Now, I was not expecting to see any dogmen coming out of that cave at Farrah's house up in Tennessee. We were looking for skinwalkers when we were up there.
That's for sure.
But I hear that dogmen actually do live in the cave systems. Have you heard that?
Yeah, I have, especially with the recent episode with Tony Merkel with Nathan. And he was the one. Yeah, he was the one that was born into the Satanist occult. So they basically, if you guys haven't watched it, I suggest you guys go watch that. Anyways, in a nutshell, this guy was born in a Satanist cult, and he was taught to communicate with entities, and one of them were dogmen. And the way he does it, he gives off frequencies and stuff like that, and where he can legit call dogman out of cave systems and stuff.
Yeah.
So whenever we go back to, if we can go back to the cave, Tony's talking about bringing Nate with us. So
he's coming. I would love that. Okay. Yeah. That is gonna whoo boy.
Yeah.
I was about to say we've got to bring Nathan with us.
Yeah. So if that happens, my whole tactics on that's gonna change. Just saying. Right. The whole tactics on
we're gonna have to wear like helmets and stuff. I don't know. Well, something to keep my head on my neck. I don't know. Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm kind of kidding, but I'm not. Like we kind of joke around about this stuff, but like we have to like. There's going to be a guaranteed encounter with a dogman if he comes with us. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Not only that, silver tip ammo, 50 cal saws, stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
Creating that distance and throwing a lot of tannerite in there with
tannerite in a cave.
No, at the base of the cave that comes out.
Okay, well, make sure we're going to have to make sure we're all out. Take cover first. That is wild. Maybe we shouldn't talk about this on air.
It's going to be more of a distance thing, so that's all I'm saying.
Oh my God, this is all for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah,
okay,
we're just what's wrong with you guys?
He's just kidding. We're talking about a cartoon. I know. We have some interesting adventures though, don't we?
Yeah.
And this is going to be no different. And hopefully we can get back up there. Because cave, I don't mind exploring like all the woods all over the place. I was super excited. I mean, but the caves are great, but like getting just too deep in those caves and knowing what I know now with all the shows that I've done, the research I've done on reptilians living in subterranean civilizations, and I don't know. I don't know about getting super deep down in those caves like y'all did, all the
No,
guys.
that's all good as long
Yeah.
as you just watch our backs at the entrance and you'll be all right.
Yes. Okay. Well, I will guard the cave entrance for you guys. How about that? Okay. Well, something that stuck out about these guys that were attacked, I probably should go down the list and like go over this so the audience can know what happened, who they were, what happened to them. These are all gold prospectors. That's something that comes up often when we're talking about Bigfoot encounters, Bigfoot attacks, Bigfoot sightings, Bigfoot kidnappings, mostly in Canada. Okay. A lot of them are in Canada, with like the Albert Osman case where he was kidnapped while he was sleeping one night in a sleeping bag. The Ape Canyon attack in Washington. More gold miners. Okay. A lot of gold miners. So back in 1908, I think it's McLeod or McLeod. I think it's McLeod brothers. McLeod. They disappeared. I know it's not funny though. Okay, they disappeared, and they were searching for gold. They were not seen for 1 whole year until their bodies were found with their heads removed. Okay, removed. It wasn't like removed. That means that something intentionally took their heads off. Obviously, okay, it wasn't like an accident. Okay, so in 1917, a gold miner named Martin Jorgensen. I think we got Jorgensen. Is it Jorgen in this chat tonight? Martin Jorgensen was found missing his head. His body was found, but his head was missing. He was also a gold miner as well, a gold prospector, shall I say, as a Swiss gold miner in 1945. So those two happened within like about 10 years, about 9 years of each other. And then in 1945, a man was found in his sleeping bag, missing his head in the same area, in the same park. Okay.
Yeah.
And then around 1907 or so, before all this happened, there was a tribe, an indigenous tribe there called the Naha tribe. They had disappeared completely from that area. And other native tribes, other indigenous tribes had said that they avoided that area at all cost because it was cursed and haunted. Okay. So there's some, I don't know, some theories behind why they don't go there and what happened to these people. But they say that some people say that they're feral people who live in the mountains and in those caves.
Yeah,
Kind of like.
I highly doubt that. But yeah, if there's feral people, they have to. Not only that, too, when you think about it, if they're taking heads, to me, they're taking trophies.
Like headhunters?
Yeah, it could be, who knows? Not only that, I don't know, could have some zombie cryptids out there, brains. I don't know. I'm just saying.
It could be. It could be. Well, here's the thing I love about law enforcement guys and military dudes and women too. You got to think like with getting a criminal's head, right? You got to have a criminal mind, and even people who have been on the fence with like doing some illegal stuff, like you got to think like a criminal, and so it's you got to see it both ways to be able to know how to fight it, right? You got to know, and so that's kind of where your head's at, so to speak.
Yeah, that's what I would think is trophies, or not only that too. Back then, I don't know if it'd be hard for them to, because back then I don't know how autopsies work and stuff, especially way up there. But the only way I would think back then you can really look at someone to define them and notice who they are is by their facial recognition, right? So also like also like the like dental records and stuff too. So like like I said, like head hunting. So whoever could be or whatever could be collecting trophies, or they just have an appetite for face and brains, eyeballs. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, well,
A lot of
but
options.
their hands were still there, so they had fingerprints and stuff. They could still be identified.
Absolutely right.
So, and they say removed, so that means that it was either cut off or pulled off or something. But it wasn't.
Yeah, well,
wasn't because a rock fell on them or fell
I was
on
going
them.
to ask, like, that'd be cool if we can bring up like the autopsies or whatever, or just to see if the head was ripped or cut or something, chewed off, whatever.
Yeah. Ooh, those would make good remote viewing targets. Not that I want to. I don't like remote viewing stuff like that, but I mean, I can at some point. If somebody were to task me something like that. But yeah, gold prospectors though too, Drew. How
Yeah.
about the gold? I mean, because that comes up a lot. It comes up a lot, even with my friend Fred Roll up in Alaska.
Yeah.
We've had conversations about how the Bigfoots are often seen around gold mines.
Yeah. Well, especially too, what was that one in Ape Canyon where they had
Hmm.
those prospectors in that cabin, and you had a bunch of Sasquatches out there trying to kill them, throwing rocks at their cabin
Yes,
roof and all that. They had a
Ape
gunfight.
Canyon.
Yeah, they had a gunfight the whole night. Yeah.
They shot one, and that's why
Mhm.
they came and they attacked them. I
Came
think.
back. Yeah.
Oh my
Good.
God, what do you think would happen to us if we were to? Well, let's just say somebody got trigger happy, or let's just say that
I know
we
exactly what
were
you're talking about.
attacked. I know, right? Don't
Anyway,
don't don't say it on the air, okay?
I'm
But
not. I'm
what
not.
what
I'm not.
if what if? Because you know I would not. I have never pulled my gun out ever when it came to cryptid hunting. I'm just not there. I'll have something for protection if I need it, but in all the years I've never been in that position to like ever be
Yeah.
scared.
Well.
Even when
Yeah.
things have run up on me, I haven't pulled anything out.
Yeah. Well, as far as that, like me and the guys, we actually train for. There's basically like a pyramid we follow, right? You go from like your less lethal and you work your way up. The whole diamond, right? The whole pyramid. So
Hmm.
not only that, I tell my guys, don't fire unless I say fire. So either me or Brian calls it out, and everyone else follows suit, right? So,
Smart.
other than that, you guys can have your first, your primary, your secondary, and then your tertiary and all that when it comes to protecting yourself. Bear mace is a good thing. CS gas, flashbangs, stuff like that. So, and then if it gets too dicey, then I suggest that's when you guys pull out your primary weapons and do your thing. But you know, a
Yeah.
tactical retreat, in my opinion. So just you start bounding and working your way back. Because you don't want anything to flank you.
Okay. What do you think would happen as far as the cryptids go? Like, let's say, like I said, somebody gets trigger happy, they feel threatened, and somebody shoots. And because I've always been told, don't ever shoot anything,
Yeah.
don't unless your life is you are an inch of death.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
do not because they will retaliate
Yeah. 100%.
viciously. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I agree. But if someone does get trigger happy, we all need to know: did you kill it? Did it take off running? If that's the case, we're hauling ass back. And we're bounding back. So yeah, that's exactly what I would do.
Yeah, in some cases, I've heard that they actually will follow you home
Oh
to
yeah,
your house,
like
no matter
Dogman.
how far
Yeah.
away you are.
Yeah. That's the thing about catching the scent. So another thing too, cover yourself with deer piss before you go out. Don't wear certain colognes, like, you know what I mean. But and that's I don't know if they're gonna want to get you, they're gonna follow you. But it just is what it is. But yeah, there's like certain ways to kind of combat that. So, but I don't know.
Yeah, I've I've always been told do not wear perfume out in the field. Not even by the guys on my team, but by some other people that I know who have had long histories with and some like secret space program kind of stuff going
Yeah.
on. Okay, and I saw Arkeem in here by the way. Hey Arkeem, if you're still watching, it's good to see you. And I'm glad you're here. So, Arkeem's been on the show. Y'all know Arkeem Raw. He's been on. He's given me some really good remote viewing targets, including stargates to Venus and Mars and the robot grandma. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, the robot grandma is a good one, Drew. Did I send you the pictures of the pins that I just had made? I just had some pins made with robot grandmas on them.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah, anyways, yeah, coming soon to the Cryptid Hunter store. Robot grandma. All right. So, but anyways, oh my God, what were we just talking about? I just lost
We're
my train
talking
of thought.
about basically, yeah, if you shoot a cryptid on, like, what you should
Shooting a
do.
cryptid.
Yeah. But not
Yeah.
only that too, to me,
Do
if
not shoot it. Don't wear perfume. That was what I was talking about, is the perfume, because they will, especially the males, will come after you as a female, talking about me. Okay.
yeah.
Um,
But not only
if
that
you know what
too,
I
if
mean.
if you guys get in that desperate situation where you guys have to shoot it, I'm sorry, the chest isn't gonna do squat. Go for its vital parts, T section, the head. Also, when we were taught, whenever we're clearing rooms, hip shots are great because you take out that hip, you take out them running after you or anybody, period. Will drop them. So I suggest putting rounds in their torso section as quick as possible. That way
Oh
you
my
take them
gosh.
out or running after you at least. At least you have a chance to get away.
Oh my
You know?
gosh.
So
Okay. And we have a question actually, and I was going to bring it before I pull up this question. We hear about the giant of Kandahar.
mhm.
Okay, that's a pretty well known story.
Yep,
I've done shows on it and stuff, but I was told that military guys and gals were trained to shoot above the head,
they
right?
were.
Like
Yeah,
shoot
they
a
were.
normal person's head.
Matter of fact, yeah, one of the guys I worked with, one of my good buddies, Brandon. He's in Reno now. Good dude. Holler at Brandon. Him and I worked with each other for about a good couple years, but he was actually in Kandahar, and then he was on one of the teams that he wasn't a part of that team, but he was a part of a ranger regiment that was there, and they were taught like, hey, don't shoot like center mass. You guys go 9 foot high, and he was thinking that because they were going in caves, clearing out caves for Al Qaeda and stuff like that. That's what he was thinking, that Al Qaeda was basing themselves high up on caves, so that's what they were training for. And then when he found out about the giant of Kandahar, him and I talked about that, and he's like, "Dude, it makes sense. That's the reason why they were training us
Yeah.
to aim high." We didn't. We were like, "Oh, whatever. These freaking sand hadjis are hanging out in the caves, so we just
Oh my
gotta
god.
make sure that we're gotta make sure that we're instead of clearing down and up, we always have to look up too. So makes sense.
Military lingo. Gotta love it. Okay. So, well, that's confirmation then. Okay. And it was really interesting because after I did a show on the giant of Kandahar, I did it. Someone gave me that as a remote viewing target a long time ago, and I was going over the data, and someone contacted me who said that they were a parent of one of the people that was on one of those units that
Okay.
went there,
Yeah.
and said that I can't give you all the details because I don't know all the details, but I can confirm all your data was correct.
Yeah.
Okay. And so yeah, it did happen. I mean, this person was just randomly hit me up.
Oh, it did
Uh,
happen. I'm gonna introduce you to L.A. Marzulli. I don't know if you
oh
heard of him.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
he actually interviewed one of the operators that are on that hunt that went to go.
Really?
Yeah, he interviewed one of them, and that was about
Oh,
a good 7 years ago. So, but yeah, he interviewed one of those guys. But
oh,
I'll give him a shout and connect you to, and see if you can get him on the
okay.
podcast, and then you can talk.
Oh,
Really,
I
he
would
can
love that.
talk about it. Okay,
Okay.
so question from
Yes. From Sky Sage.
Sky
Okay.
Sage.
What are your reasons for researching cryptids? That's a good question. What what gets you going with cryptids? Like why did you start researching them?
Well, why did I start? Oh, well, I guess my love for monsters, I guess. But in all
Yeah.
reality, being prior law enforcement and stuff like that with like missing people,
Mhm.
to me, there was more to it when it comes to people just end up missing, and by just by like getting lost, or there were more cases on animal attacks. Like some of the stuff doesn't make any sense, man. So that's what basically kind of got me into it. And not only that, having my own encounters as well too. On being on on like a tracking and search team and stuff up in the mountains, and hearing things and seeing things that I shouldn't be hearing and seeing. So, and then not only that, uh, higher up politics were telling us to write our reports a certain way. So yeah, that's what kinda got me going down the rabbit hole.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good
So,
answer. Okay, do you recall any specific situations where you encountered some cryptid, that the whole situation had all the tells and signs that you were about to have some kinda unfriendly exchange? Uh, have you? Because
100%.
I kinda have a little bit.
Yeah,
Tell
remember
me
that's
about it.
okay, remember when we were on the Tony Merkel podcast and, like, me and T were talking?
Mhm.
Yeah, we actually had to shoot. We actually had to shoot at these things.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Well, we'll save that. Okay, you guys got to tune into that podcast. Okay, I'll be posting it whenever it comes out all over social media and stuff. That was yeah. We have it oftentimes does have happen like that. Now, Andrew, I personally have not. I mean, I've been in some sticky situations for sure. I have, but then again, I make myself bait for the cryptids and stuff. And so I'm if I start feeling really uncomfortable, then I get out of there. I don't stick
Yeah.
around. Okay. I don't stick around because none of us wants none, as they say in the South. Okay, you don't want none, and I don't want none. Okay, because I'm out there not to like disrespect, when I'm out there doing the research and stuff, or to threaten anything, because I don't want to be threatened. It's a mutual respect, in my opinion, when it comes down to it. So, it's
Yeah,
an
and
interesting question, though.
yeah, and also
Thank you.
too, like I said, when I talked about the whole pyramid of like your threat and like basically on like your threat analysis, like I said, you guys want to start from the bottom, work your way up. So you don't want to be you don't want to be as threatening until you have to be until it's that kill shot. But when I went on a Bigfoot hunt on a sponsored Bigfoot hunt in Kentucky in 2015, me and two guys had to toss out nine bangers. For those of you guys don't know what nine bangers are, those are flashbangs, right? So
Hmm.
nine bangers are basically they bang nine times. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, right? With the flashes. That's why they call them nine bangers. So we were covering the rear, patrolling up this mountain. We heard some things behind us, and we're like, man, scrap this. So we tossed a nine banger behind us, and that just kind of pushed them off of us until we can get to
That's
our
smart.
till we can get to our vehicle and get out of the X.
Yeah, because ultimately, what you want is to get out of there unhurt and
Yeah,
unharmed, just like I did today. When I saw
yeah,
that the truck was backing up, and I had just a split second of I jumped behind my vehicle just in case he did floor it and try to run me over or shoot me or
hmm,
something. I did get behind it, and my son and my dog were behind as well. They were behind me. They were actually down at the lake. I had kind of banished them away from me
yeah.
and
Get out of there.
told my
Yep.
son to get out of there. My dog was waiting for a command, and if I needed to give it to her, she would have gone. She would have gone taking care of business. Okay, but that didn't have to come to it. So thank goodness. But you ultimately want to just get distance between you and the threat, right,
Yeah.
Drew?
Yeah. Yep. As much distance as possible.
Wow. I love it. Okay. I love that we're having this conversation tonight. And I'm not glad that that happened to me today, but I'm glad that like I'm able to talk about it and apply it to our everyday lives and our cryptid research too.
Yeah. Well, not only
Um,
that too. It to me, it's not good, but to me, it's good
yeah,
because
it's good.
yeah, because also too with those situations, you look back like, okay, what could I have done better? It's like trial and error. To me, the more the more knowledge you get are from like the experiences you have, right? So
Yeah.
you actually realize what works and what doesn't. And yeah, to
Yeah.
me, it's gnome Drew. What up, buddy?
Yeah. Yeah. Times are definitely getting really crazy, really fast and crazy. That's right, Kyrian. Things are, it's like life is speeding up. People are getting more just blatantly just doing whatever they want to, like on
Mhm.
people's like I couldn't believe it. People are just, what do you call that? Like bold, like
Yeah, people
super
are getting
bold,
bold, and you look on the news and
desperate.
what's going on in the world. People really don't have like people don't really respect life anymore, especially other people's
Mm,
lives. They don't care.
yeah. Well, another thing that just happened this past week, we've in 1 week, we've had two officers uh, unalived. One, I don't know if one of them is still alive or not, but he was shot in the face
Yeah.
serving a warrant at a house this week. And then another officer who was one of the brothers of the guys that I dealt with today. He was unalive serving a warrant last week. Okay,
Mhm.
so it's that never happened in our small towns before, and here we are. Things are ramping up a little bit, and so just don't live in fear, okay, but just live in awareness with all this stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Also, too, train, and like I said, think of not oh, it's never going to happen, but think on when it's going to happen. So
Think when that's right, not and just kind of always be aware of your surroundings, okay, and be prepared. That's why I carry a combat medical pack with me when I go places,
yeah,
right?
yeah, for
And
all those, yeah. Yeah, for everyone who shoots, learn the medical side. You guys have to, because don't think about it's not going to be one-way exchange. It's going to be two-way exchange. That's why they call it a shootout. You know, guys, learn your basics. Learn how to use a tourniquet and learn how to use gauze and stuff like that. If you guys need to pack a wound, especially on yourself or other people, to me, you're going to use more medical knowledge and advice and equipment than anything than you will a pistol or a gun or anything like that, especially here in our country. So yeah, you definitely get more medical incidents than you will, a shootout. So
Yes, for sure. I have just realized that I'm like 20 minutes behind on the comments. So I apologize, everybody. We have so many comments tonight, and I'm just not, they go so
do your
fast. So I
thing, do your thing, do
apologize.
your thing.
So I'm only 20 minutes behind, but I'm catching up. So I actually have like sucking chest wound bandages and stuff in my pack.
Yeah,
Okay. For bullet wounds and stuff, or if somebody got impaled in their chest. I've also, our Bigfoot research team spent an entire, I don't know how many times we did it, but we've always met up and either we're learning remote viewing or we're learning survival skills. We're going out and doing survivalist training and stuff like that. But we did a whole entire course. So a lot of the guys on our team are actually medics, have
that's
been
good.
medics. They're
Good.
doctors or we have nurses and doctors and combat medical experts and stuff.
That is great.
Yeah. So they came in and taught me. They taught our whole team what they know. And we had like crash courses in it that were very intense on what to do in emergency situations because what if something happened to them? They need
Mhm.
us trained to help keep them alive until we can get them to a hospital or
Yeah,
somewhere.
100%.
And also, as you mentioned earlier, before we go out as a team, we usually have an operation order.
Mhm.
And in that we do, you mentioned it too. We put down where the closest hospitals are, the mileage, the exactly like how to even the coordinates of those hospitals. So in case we need to get out of there quickly, we can stick it in the GPS and get there from that operational order. It's like a some papers, it's
Like a
like
big packet. It's like a packet.
packet. Yeah, we do packets before we go out. This is no joke. The kind of the cryptid research we do, it can be life threatening. Okay. And so we have to cover all the bases before we go out there. It's not just us getting out there and, loading up in the truck and, walking around the woods all night. Like there's potential for for things to go south
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah, and only that if someone breaks their ankle or whatever, you guys always want to be
Yeah.
proactive instead of reactive. Guys always want to think of what could happen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Now, if something comes and it pops your head off your shoulders, there's not much you can do about that. Okay. So
no.
there's no combat medical pack that's going to put your head back on. Okay.
Well,
So
here's the thing too though.
be careful.
You guys got about a good 15 seconds to talk smack before you fully die because your head's still registering.
No.
Yeah. If your
Serious?
head gets cut off, yeah, you got about a good 10 to 15 seconds.
Well, that's good to
So
know, I
you
guess.
can just
You
keep
still
talking
crack
smack.
another joke.
Yeah, like
Right.
you smell like crap.
Oh my god.
I'm just
I guess
kidding.
that's what's happening back in the medieval times, whenever that was, when people were going to the
Guillotine.
gallows or getting their
Guillotine. Yeah.
the guillotines. Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, that reminds me of a story. I really don't know if I should say it, but my grandfather worked on the railroad, and there
Oh.
was a really sad story that he talked about it occasionally, where it was icy, and a gentleman that worked there at the train station slipped and fell up underneath the train, and it cut his body in half. And the train was like on top of him. It cut, but as soon as they moved the train wheel, he was going to die. But they kept him alive long enough to like call his family in and stuff, but he was, as soon as they moved the train track, or the train, he did pass away. But it's interesting how your body can be cut in half, and like parts are, and it's like a snake, when you
Mhm.
cut the head off and the body's still moving and stuff. It's interesting how our bodies work, I guess.
Jessica, I'm
It's
gonna
kind of
send you
morbid.
something right
Sorry,
now.
y'all. I know that's morbid, but we're talking about combat medic training. Did you have medic training when you were in the military?
I had it when I was on SWAT. We actually
You're in
went like
SWAT.
pretty, yeah, we went pretty deep onto that. I'm gonna send you something right now. See
Okay.
if I can find it. Oh crap, did I lose it? I think I lost it. Where'd it go?
Oh, okay. Co-create happy. That's an interesting comment. It says Criminal Minds is right. I heard a remote viewer say there were a few greedy gold prospectors in the Nahani who started beheading new prospectors to scare them away. Now
Mm,
that's actually 100% could be legit too.
yeah.
Absolutely. Right. What better way to keep people away or to send a message And some people are actually suggesting that potentially that indigenous tribe there, and I'm not pointing fingers, but that's just what some people were saying in the articles I was reading, that it was suspected that they may have done that or told stories about it and stuff to scare people away so that nobody else went out there to go steal their gold.
Yeah. Also, too, it makes me kind of reminds me of what was it Vlad the Impaler, Count Dracula?
Glad.
Yeah, he
Yep.
used to take the heads off his enemies and stick them on poles in the front. And if you go biblically too, like the Philistines used to do that too, just to scare away people.
Really.
Yeah.
It's a good way to send a message, I guess. Drink out of the skulls of your enemies.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
hey, did you get that text I just sent you? Maybe you can
I'll
give it to
see.
your audience.
Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, I have a cup, actually a coffee mug, and it says "The tears of my enemies." And I used to drink my coffee. I don't know where that cup is. I used to drink my coffee out of it every morning, and I was like, and I put a picture on social media one day, and I was like, because it's no longer appropriate to drink coffee out of my enemy's skull in the morning. But anyways, oh okay, okay.
It could be for your
Let me
viewers
send
so
that.
that way they can have
Okay,
something at least.
yeah, this is actually really good information right here too. So let me I'll email it to myself real quick, and we'll pull it up. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Oh, okay. So Urso's asking, well, if you have a zombie deer, what if a cryptid was bitten or consumed by a zombie deer? Would it turn into a zombie?
That would
That's a
suck.
that's a
That
weird
would
question, but that's a good
suck.
question. That's I've never thought of that.
Like if you
Yeah.
had
What?
Bigfoot or Dogman zombies walking around, that would suck.
Yeah. Oh well. Okay. Something that I find interesting is when we were at the Skinwalker cave and we had the paranormal activity that was going on there. We
Mhm.
were picking up figures in the SLS camera.
Yeah.
And the figures actually, one of them was giant. It looked like it had horns at some point, and there were two little tiny ones that were crawling up and down the walls of the cave.
Yeah.
It
And
was it was a little creepy.
that one that was
Um,
big, it had to hunch down because it was so big.
that's right. Well, what do you think about cryptids being ghosts? Do you think that could have been a ghost? What do you think was going on there?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, geez, that's a really good question.
I
I'm
know,
gonna
right?
go off a I'm gonna go off on a little tangent,
Because
I
you
guess.
saw it.
Yeah,
You
I did.
you
I
were
saw it.
there. You experienced it with
Yeah,
me. You
I
saw
saw it.
it.
Yeah, like I said, it could be spiritual too, or also we could not have seen it. It could be in another dimension, but it could have been there at the same time, but in another dimension. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Oh gosh, what was that one? This one interview I was listening to of this guy. He was in this house doing some paranormal investigation. Well, he was talking to this one guy on I forgot what like the EMP thing. What is it? You can talk to somebody that's a ghost.
The EVP.
EVP, yes. EVP.
EVP.
Yeah,
Yeah.
EMP, electromagnetic pulse. Yeah, the EVP. He was talking to this guy, and he was talking about he talked about his grandfather, and he's like, "What the heck is this?" So he looked more into it, and this guy told him about his grandfather, where his address was, and everything on the EVP. And it turns out that he looked into it, and this guy was a ghost hunter as well back then.
Oh yeah.
But he used to ghost hunt in that same area. So what he put together was maybe he thought I was the ghost in his timeline, and then he's the ghost in my timeline. It
Yeah.
could have been, like cryptid spirits, maybe they die off, or, they're walking through that area, but they see us, but not in a way that you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. Who knows? You know?
Yeah. It reminds me of that meme. There's like a meme. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I don't know if my computer is lagging now because I've got too many things going on my computer at the moment. But there's like a meme of like Spider-Man pointing at other Spider-Mans from like interdimensional Spider-Mans. And they're like, it was
Yeah.
you. No, it was you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
could have
That
been that
or,
kind of situation.
these cryptids could be Nephilim, right? And then when they die,
Yes.
they can't they can't go to heaven and they can't go to hell yet. So their souls are just on this earth trying to find someone to inhabit, which are demons, right? And then that could be
Yeah.
what we saw. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be. All right, trying to pull this. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get that picture up, but it's making my computer act all crazy for some reason tonight.
Race
So I
of
may not be able to pull
data.
that picture up.
Oh, you good?
Yeah, it's making everything lag. So
Okay.
that's my technology. It's top notch, let me tell you, over here. But anyways, yeah, I've not really heard people ever discuss cryptids being ghosts really until I remember bringing that up when I was talking about the Dogman at the Fort Pierce Dogman. Are you familiar with that?
Mm-mm.
Florida?
Mm-mm.
Okay. There was a guy named Blue that was on Facebook Live, and this was live. Like he
Wait, wait,
actually caught a
wait,
dogman
wait, wait.
live.
He was out there smoking, and then he was talking
Yeah.
about, and you seen that dog man run from that light pole behind his house. Yes, I
Yeah.
saw that.
Yeah. It ran by fast too, and it was almost like translucent
Yeah.
kind of looking. It was creepy looking, right?
Well,
Uh
also too, remember with that video we saw with Tony, and we talked about that?
oh, the one where he got ran up on, ran up,
Yeah.
run up, get done up, right?
Yeah.
That's,
So,
yeah, right.
yeah. Not only that, I know I've seen videos and talking to Ed and all that. I know a lot of cryptids can be translucent, almost like the predator. So,
Yes. Yeah, well, that's where when I saw that video from the Fort Pierce Dogman, it made me think, well, what if it's I think Barry and I were talking about this. We were talking about, well, maybe it could be that, like we can't see them when they move quickly or something. Like they move faster than human, because we're thinking in human terms.
mhm.
But when you're dealing with cryptids, they're not human.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
not.
And so they're going to be in a different frequency. Everything they do is different from us in
Not
a
only
lot of
that
ways.
too, I know of certain people who are, who are like you, who are very spiritually inclined. You guys can see more things than what I can, or whatever, right? You guys can sense it, can taste it, and you can see it, right? Um,
Mhm.
yeah, and when it comes to cryptids, I know with the human eye, we can only see so much. I forgot what. God, I gotta pull that up, but I forgot what it is. But I know that as far as the human naked eye, like we really can't see as much. But it brings me back to during like the Vietnam War, right? With the whole NVGs that
Mhm.
came out back then in red instead of green.
What
A
are
lot of those, yeah, a lot of those guys who were in the helicopters and stuff were shooting at
Oh, the
nothing.
dicyanin dye. The
Yes.
dicyanin dye goggles. Oh,
Yeah.
that's like my number one biggest watch show I've ever done on my YouTube channel. I have so many views on that, and it's because not a lot of people were talking about it. And thank you, Cryptidville, by the way. Cryptidville helped me with that one. He's in the chat tonight. I got to give him a lot of credit for that because he asked me before the show. He's like, "Here, look at these goggles," and I was like, "Well,
Mhm.
shoot, let's do it. I'm going to do a show on them tomorrow." No
What
one,
was
and
funny
it
is,
was it was
go ahead, go ahead.
wild.
Yeah. What was
Yeah.
funny is, Andrew from, oh gosh, from Informing the Masses sent me a bunch of stuff. They sell those on eBay, right? For like,
They're like a cheaper version of the good ones, I think.
yes, yeah. But the old ones, he sent me one, but it was like someone took it off the market. But it was like almost going for like $50,000. It was
Oh,
insane.
man,
It was
so they're not
old, old, old. Yeah.
like military issue, like when you go to the military, they don't just give you some cyanin dye goggles, huh? Okay.
No.
No.
Also, too, the thing I heard was the old school like 3D glasses. Remember they had the red and they had the blue?
Oh, oh, okay. Yes, 3D, just the paper 3D glasses. Did you
Yes.
know that if you take those, I don't know exactly how to
And
do it, but you can fold them over and put them on top of
mhm,
each other. You can see
you can
UFOs
see
and
UFOs. Yep.
interdimensionally.
Yep.
I'm glad you brought that up. I've never talked about that on the show, but I had a good friend send me the information about that one day and was like, "You need to take 2 pairs of all you do is just staple them together,
Yep.
and
Overlap
and
'em.
you it's like having dicyanin dye almost, but not probably not as strong, but,
You can,
you can
yeah.
see I was told UFOs 100%.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I need to do that. I haven't had any 3D glasses, though, in a long time. I guess
Yeah,
you
I
could
think
order them
they
on Amazon,
well,
right?
I don't know if they make them the same anymore like they used to back in the 90s. They could have changed them up, who knows, because of that. I don't know.
Oh, they may have. Maybe we shouldn't talk about it. I'm just kidding. No, we need to do that. We need to talk about it so that people will look tomorrow. Amazon's going to have like tonight, right now. People are probably looking at Amazon like, oh, let's get those 3D glasses.
Oh, I'm looking at,
You know,
was it Rand C? He says, "I still have 3D glasses that came with the old 3D DVD players. Anyone remember those? Oh, okay.
Oh,
Let me see.
we got
1%
folks going on
visible
Prime
light
now.
spectrums.
Yeah, right. Oh, Rain's still got them. Okay, if you got 3D glasses, y'all, get you another set of 3D glasses and staple them together, and then, but just be ready. Be ready for what you're seeing. Yeah. Just know that you're gonna don't do it right before you go to bed. Probably.
That'd be a bad day.
But you know what? That would actually be cool to like take out with our team.
Yeah, just try it out.
Yeah. You know what's you know what? Do you remember going on the Skinwalker cave hunt and we looked up at the sky? I just happened to look up and what is that, Skylink or Starlink?
Starlink, yeah, Starlink.
Was above us. And some of the guys had never even heard of it, right?
Braxton was freaking out.
He was
like, we're gonna get abducted, guys.
Well, it was really close to the ground. It just seemed like an Amtrak train in the sky to me. It wasn't like super close, but yeah, for anyone who's didn't know what that was, it could be totally freaky seeing something like that. It did look like it could be mistaken for aliens, I guess, out there. But of course, we were actually going out there to look for. We were trotting through a field looking for Dogman, right? So, not saying anybody was on edge or anything. But we're just out there having fun, seeing Starlink or Skylink, whatever it's called, above us. So
Ryan put, or Ryan, whatever his name is, put, hey, Jessica, I told you I'm going to Louisiana, the first Bigfoot festival on the 7th. Should I take my 3D glasses? Yes.
Wait, is that it? Oh, yeah. Yes, you should. Hold on. Staple. Yeah. So, yes. Yeah. Take them for sure. For sure. And yeah, you staple 2 sets of 3D glasses together. I don't know. You're going to have to look that up, Love V Love. You're going to have to look it up. If you put the red over the red and the blue over the blue, I don't know. Okay. You could actually.
I figured what they said. Oh, they said that you get them and you fold them in half. So you get the blue over the red and the red over the blue, or vice versa. Blue over the red, blue over the red. If you can
so basically take a set and then flip them.
Yeah. Or if you get it. Yeah. Or you get the one set and then the other set you cut in half, take that off, and then you staple them. That's what I would do. Just try it out. Man, I'm all interested now.
I know. Now we're all doing it. I'm doing it too. I'm gonna order like a 10-pack, 20-pack. Actually, because we each need 2. I'm gonna order like a 30-pack. Okay. And start taking them out in the field. I mean, how primitive is that? It's a lot cheaper than buying a night vision or FLIR, right? Some kind of psionics. Just get a dollar set of 3D glasses.
I wonder if anybody in the chats in MUFON.
Potentially. Let's see. I mean,
who knows? Anyways,
who knows? Yeah, if you guys know, if anybody knows in the chat exactly how to do them, how to put them together, let us all know. Okay, we'll put it up on the screen tonight, and I'm sure you could look it up online as well. And Rain has 2 pair. So I see you doing that tonight. But the last paper glasses I got were to look at the eclipse, solar eclipse, right?
Yeah.
So we all had those funny looking glasses back then, but no 3D glasses. So, man.
Do they even use 3D anymore?
I don't know. That's a good question too.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know. Now we have all this like technology, like our TVs look 3D, right? We don't even need the glasses. Wow. It's like holographic and stuff. Yeah. God, can you imagine if we like put on the 3D glasses and we started seeing cryptids out in the field? Like holograms or something?
That'd be
it's like the movie They Live.
Oh, I love that movie. Good movie, guys. Watch it. Yeah.
Yeah. Super awesome movie. All right. Well, that has nothing to do with people's heads getting popped.
Sorry, guys.
We're talking about. I know, but we're just having a good time. I kind of already covered the poor guys that were getting their heads chopped off and stuff, but let's just say it was cryptids, right? I mean, my guess would be it would be Bigfoot. Okay, of all the different cryptids, I think it'd be Bigfoot, knowing what the people up in Portlock, Alaska went through. And that's not, Canada is right there. It's north. Okay. I don't know if the Bigfoots up there are more violent against humans like they are in Alaska, but they might be.
Yeah, I think so, because You're not. Well, it's almost like you look like grizzly bears, right? Basically, the more north you go, the more savage the animals get. Because
Yeah.
there's less humans up there.
Do you think it's because of that? Because there's less humans?
Could be. You know,
I have a theory
what's
about
the
it.
theory? Let's hear it.
And I can't say that the theory has been all these years, like for the past 100 years. But I don't know. See, we don't know what kind of technology has been around for how long it's been around. We've kind of been lied to about a lot of stuff, right?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, well, if you look at Alaska up that way, up north, North Pole, there's a lot of weather manipulation technology
Hmm.
allegedly up there.
Yeah.
HARP is up there,
ARP.
and
Yeah.
just think about all the frequencies that are being let off up there. There's like frequencies like sound waves and sonar and radar and all sorts of stuff and
Could piss them
sound.
off.
Yeah, I
Could
mean,
be pissing
imagine because
Cryptids off. Yeah.
well, humans may not be able to hear all these frequencies, but the animals can,
Hmm.
including Bigfoot. I'm not calling Bigfoot an animal, but for all intents and purposes or whatever, it's
So
just
I
call them animals.
I agree with you on the Bigfoot because I know Dogman goes for like the internal organs, the guts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when it comes to head popping, I believe Bigfoot is more capable of doing that.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of gross. Sorry, everybody. We're talking about this tonight, but I think it's important that we do talk about it because it happened. Okay, because it happened, and who better to talk about people's heads getting popped off than Drewski with cryptid warfare
Sorry, guys.
tonight?
I'm not sorry.
We're not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah. So it all goes back to situational awareness, though, and these gold prospectors too are out there kind of by themselves,
Yes,
looking
yes,
for a
yes.
claim to stake or stake to claim. Sorry.
Yeah. Not only that, too,
However you
guys.
say it.
Yeah. Going back to the whole cryptid hunting thing for you, even in general, if you guys go hiking, God, just try not to go by yourself. Please
Don't ever
try
go
not to
by
go by
yourself.
yourself. Yeah.
That's kind of like the worst thing you can do these days too, is go anywhere by yourself. And I know a lot of people that do it. A lot of people, women, like small statured women. Okay. And those are the number one targets for people who want to kidnap you.
Hmm.
Okay. Who want to kidnap a person. They go after, a lot of times it's women that are, 5'2" or ones that don't look like they're going to be able to fight back as well and stuff. So always, if you can, take an equalizer with you when you go camp or hiking if you're by yourself,
Yeah, for sure.
if you know what I mean.
On that, let people know where you're going to.
Hmm.
Give them a
Definitely let people
timeline
know
on
where
when
you're
you're.
going.
Give them a timeline on when you're going to be back.
Yeah. That is. Do you what kind of protocol do you have when you have the team out there? I know I'm on your team too now, but whenever I bring my teammates on, I'll ask them questions like I don't know the answers already. But just for you to tell the audience, like, what kind of protocol do you have with your team for safety and things like that?
Well, as far as safety, God, that can be broken down, like compartmentalized in so many things. Like general safety, weapon safety.
Sure.
What were we talking about?
Yeah. Well, how about like as far as communications go, as far as um, staying in touch with each other,
Okay,
like
yeah. Okay,
communicating
well,
while you're out there and stuff
okay,
like
yeah,
through radios,
yeah.
contact and stuff like that?
Okay, example. When we went on this Skinwalker hunt, right? It's the first time we actually met you physically, got to see you and stuff.
Oh,
So
right.
whenever me and the guys were together, like, hey, we're gonna be going up against a Skinwalker. Let's come up with the code word right now, written down. That way we all know it.
Oh, yeah.
So if one of us goes away to use the bathroom, we come back like, hey, what's the code word? And then that kind of gives you an edge, because Skinwalkers can change into whoever they want to. That's just a little food for thought there.
Oh, yeah. I was worried I was gonna forget. I don't even know if I knew the safe word.
I
I was
yeah,
like, "Oh my god. What
I'm
if we
pretty sure they
forget the
told you
safe
that.
word? We're gonna get in trouble here."
Or you better freaking know something else. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Um, but
Yeah.
yeah. But as far as that, as far as like communications and comms, when if someone's at if someone's at literally at like the base where we're staying at, or they're at the truck or something, I always have the guys check in about every 10 minutes, every 10 to 15
Mhm.
minutes. Like, hey, we're at zone 5, checking in. Cool, I read you. Cool, and stuff like that. So that's basically what we do. Is we always check in about every 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah. Speaking of the potential for the skinwalkers mimicking us, there are a lot of videos going around of mimics. Have you been keeping up with those people in their homes sounding like their mothers knocking on their door and
Yeah,
stuff? But they're like, "It's not my mom." I mean, they could be hoaxes. Okay, they could.
yeah.
But
That
what's up with this phenomenon right now?
to
What do you think?
me, like spiritually, it all ties into like familiar spirits, right? Um, of course, you guys have angels watching you, you have demons watching you, and all that. And if you let certain things in your home, it could be whatever. It could be charged objects or whatever, or you could be, who knows, you could be living on an Indian burial ground or whatever, and you're not home. To me, the same rules
Right.
apply as applies to cryptids, like skinwalkers or wendigos or anything like that. They could know who you are, they can call your name out, they can sound like whoever they whoever you're close to, and they can draw you out. But that's the thing, is that you have to have the invitation on to either open that door or to go to them and see what it is. But they can't do anything unless you give them that open door, physically or mentally or spiritually. So they can't do a damn thing
Oh
unless
my
you
god.
open that door.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. So the other night, I'm not going to say who it was or where or anything, but someone in my family, let's just say, uh, called me and was like, "Hey, are you knocking on my door?" It was like
Mm.
2 in the morning. I was like, "No, I'm not knocking on your door." Uh, they were like, "Well, somebody is knocking on my door," and it's like 3 knocks. There's nobody out there,
Does
and
it?
I'm
Did you
like,
hear any? Did she hear any voices or anything like that? Did it sound like you?
"No, no, no." But it was just somebody knocking in the middle of the night, but there was nobody there. And I was like, "Don't open the door." I was like,
Yeah.
"Just
Don't.
don't open the door.
Just
Don't open it." Because even if you open the door and there's not a person there, there could be something supernatural there.
yeah. Could
Okay.
slip in.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, that happened. I got another phone call later. A few minutes later, it was like, "There's more knocking." And I was like, "Oh
Mm,
my God." Okay.
that
So,
or certain cryptids could draw you out of your home too.
yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
And
and what about, as much as I've ever gone out into the field and stuff, like I'm always surrounded by, teammates. I usually like to put my tent way far away from everybody just in case I snore. Because I might have snored the last time I went out with you guys, I'm sure.
we all were.
I was so tired. Well, I was like, well, the bugs are out here. They're really loud. So nobody's going to hear me if I snore tonight. Okay. If I'm out here. And I think I probably did. But, anyways, let's not talk about that. Okay. But, anyways, um, I've never been like lured out when I'm in the woods or anything. Like, but I hear people get that, and that may be where some of these missing people are going too. Being kind of lured, like hearing mimics. I have heard my own voice out there. Okay, I didn't know it was my voice until later because I couldn't figure out whose voice it was, but then I realized it was mine, calling from across the creek one night and said time travel like really loud.
Mm,
So that I can't say that was a mimic or anything. I think it was me, like, remote viewing myself. I
mhm.
don't know. I don't know for sure, but I have heard that, and it's really freaky, and that's why I didn't register that was my voice for a while because it was just you don't expect to hear your own voice
Yeah.
ever.
That or you hear women screaming, babies crying, like you hear
Mhm.
that in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
About face and back out of there.
Well, it's probably a cat, but it's probably may not be
Yeah, good old Wampus cat. Yeah.
the wampus cat. Something,
Yeah.
something that's probably not good. Something that will eat you. It could definitely eat you. So just be careful out there. But anyways, yeah, there's a lot of dangers out there for sure, and a lot of dangers around our homes too. Just like we talked about tonight with my case, my incident that happened tonight. Yeah, and I said case because yeah, I do have a case now. I had to file a report, and we are pressing charges. Okay, so I don't know. Do you have any final thoughts? I know it's like I've had a long day, so we're not gonna make this a 2.5 hour show tonight.
Well, we're good, man.
But
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you have? Do you have any final thoughts for like any kind of advice for the audience for being out in the field and stuff like that? I know we've given a good bit of advice already tonight, but
Yeah, like I
what say
said,
you?
just do your homework on whenever you guys are going. Um, learn the lay of the land. Talk to law enforcement before you go out. That way you can find out what you can do, what you can't do. Um, you know, try to find out where your closest hospital is at. Seeing if there's any residential areas around you. Check and see if there's any police reports in that area on past cases that have happened when it comes to murders, missing people, stuff like that. Just try to gather up as much intel as you can. Also, do like aerial views of it on where you guys are supposedly going. You guys might run into something you guys don't want to run into, or yeah, you guys might be walking, all of a sudden you run into like a remote cabin. If you would have looked on Google Maps, you guys might have saw it. Yeah, and wear the right gear. Uh, yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah. The right gear is paramount for sure. Um,
and also
I don't,
keep your heads out of that damn phone when you're out there too.
and your earbuds out. Do not wear
Yes.
earbuds.
Yeah, unless you're wearing
Don't.
comms, but it's only usually one ear in. So, but
At
yeah.
least, yeah. Keep one, and that's also even with like your night vision too. Just use one eye, okay? Because you need it. I know that sounds crazy. People don't know what I'm talking about, but like your retina, whatever that is, it starts burning, and you take that away. Like keep one eye
Mhm.
away from that, okay? So you can at least see with one eye if you have to run somewhere and get out of the woods.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know
Also,
if it's
like,
okay.
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Oh no, no,
No,
I was going to change the subject because I was going to ask you about that. Maybe we shouldn't bring up the Texas Dogman right now, but I
mhm.
know we've got yeah. Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah,
yeah, we won't
mhm,
talk about it then.
yeah.
Um, sorry, everybody. Sorry. I should have asked you before the show though,
That's all good. It's all
because
good.
yeah, I
Well,
don't think it's time yet. Okay, but we do have a lot of stuff going on, and we got some hunts coming up, and some more research and things like that, and I can't wait. Oh my god, I love it. Uh, this is Drew. Drew is a boots on the ground field researcher, y'all, big time. Very impressive. A lot of people get out there and do boots on the ground, but like the intel is really good too, though, because people are getting to where like we're all you and I both, a lot of us, we're getting calls from people who are having real life encounters, and their
problems. Yeah.
homes are like habituated by like dogmen and stuff, and so yeah, have dogmen will travel, right?
Hmm.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Um, so y'all hit us up if you've got any kind of, or hit Drew up, whatever, if anybody's got some pesky, dogmen and stuff hanging around their property.
Pesky kids. Yeah.
Pesky. Yeah, some pesky cryptids and stuff. Because
Yeah.
we do,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
send
go
them
ahead.
our
Sorry.
way.
I keep cutting you off. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Well, I just keep talking, so just go
Yeah.
ahead.
Also, too, if like I said, if you guys are going out, go with at least a team of five. People if you can. That way if somebody gets hurt, three can stay back and two can go get
Yeah.
help or whatever. And then yeah, just get your basics, your flashlight, bear mace, pistol, cam lights. Cam lights work great, especially if you guys
Glow
are
sticks.
yeah, especially if you guys are tracking at night. Me and the guys always drop them about like 20 feet apart. The caves or in the forest too, that we hang them up. That way, if we need to run as fast as we can, we see where we're going.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you don't want to be running into people,
Yeah.
and God forbid somebody lets off a shot or
Yeah.
something. You don't want
Or
to be in the
no,
way
not
of
only
that.
that too, if somebody
Yeah.
gets hurt and you need to call it in and you can't be mobile, at
Mhm.
least first responders can know where the trail's at. Like, oh, cool, there's a cam light. Oh, there's another cam light. You're basically leaving breadcrumbs. That's all you're doing.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, some of the places we go are like so remote out there. That's why you got to trust your team to get you to help you. If you can't get out of there, your team will help you and
Yeah.
stuff and come
And
get
not only
you.
that
And
too, really vet on who you're bringing to, you know.
oh yeah.
Yeah, there's how did my dad say it? You really won't find out about a person until you work with them or you take them camping.
Oh my God. Yes. Oh man, I should have taken my ex-husband camping before I married him. I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding, actually. It's yeah, you get to know somebody real well when you're out camping with folks too.
Yeah.
So you get real comfortable with people. So I know
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said that.
Not only that,
It's
like,
true.
if you need
Yeah.
them, you get to see what people are about, if they crack under the pressure or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
That's true. Yeah. Well, you just don't know until you get in like a really crazy compromising position with people and stuff. Who's got your back and who you can trust and all that kind of stuff. And it's super important when you're out there. Your lives depend on each other
they do.
out in situations where you're hunting dangerous cryptids and stuff. So yeah. And it's yeah, that's why I love going out with you guys. I think it's great. And I feel safe with y'all, and I hope you feel safe with me being out there too. And we have a question from Rain, Drew. What's the most important advice or piece of equipment you can tell us about? What's your equipment that you take out there?
Oh, good Lord, I have to make a punch list. But like I said,
I know, right?
the most important equipment you guys can have is your brain, honestly, because without that, nothing else can function. It doesn't matter what you do. You could be a top-notch shooter. If your brain can't compartmentalize and can't cognitively think during stressful situations, you can make the wrong choice. Or vice versa. You can, you can know how to pack a wound, but if you can't do it under pressure, if someone's bleeding out, stuff like that. Just make smart decisions. That's the best thing I can give you is your brain, man. Is your smarts, your wits. Learn, keep learning, don't stop learning.
Man, that's
That's just
great
me. That's
advice.
just me.
That's great advice. And yeah, your brain. And that's why it's important to be healthy too.
Hmm.
Be healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exercise. Okay.
Yep. Definitely
And that's
exercise.
every single day of your lives, y'all. Because
Mhm.
like I said, like what happened to me today, uh, I was thinking on my feet. Okay. And my intuition kicked in, and I handled the situation. For people who are just tuning in tonight, go back and watch the beginning of the show. I had to I caught people breaking in and robbing my family's home today, and they were actually carrying out a mattress out of the house when I got out of my truck and I started walking towards them. And yes, I was armed, and I had to confront them today, and they had ransacked our home and everything. Okay, so it was a crazy day, super crazy day, but you know, I trained a lot. Okay, now this didn't have anything to do with what I did today, but like when I was younger, I did kickboxing every single day. I was into kickboxing, and once you start training, your body just naturally moves. Okay, it moves. You start getting that muscle memory, right? Just like
Mhm.
with shooting.
Mhm.
Okay, you do it so often, you do it all the time. To this day, I mean, it's been years since I've trained in kickboxing, but I would automatically throw a punch if I had to and stuff,
Mhm.
and a kick and whatever I had to do. Your body gets that muscle memory, and it's important that we do exercise that and continue it. And it's just like with my remote viewing too. I have to exercise my psychic muscles,
Yep.
okay, to be good at it and stay good at it. But you do have that muscle memory no matter what.
You do, 100%,
Yeah,
man. Like, I'll just add that on too. You have to exercise your body, you have to exercise your mind, and everything else is just a tool, with equipment. If you can't get if if you can't walk a mile, your mind's going to be stressing out, and then you can't cognitively think on what you got to do. Just take care of your body and take care of your mind. Those are your best tools that you got, and everything else, you know, just follow suit after that.
exactly. Hey, Chastity, what's up, girl? Thank you for being here. And hey, Robbie. Robbie's a tracker and out there doing Bigfoot research. He's been with me to the one of my research areas up in North Georgia when we were
Awesome.
at the Georgia Bigfoot conference up there. But yeah, it's situational awareness and is what we need. And I don't know, y'all. I don't know what to say. Just we do live in a crazy world right now. Be prepared. Don't be scared. And go forth and prosper.
Yep.
Okay.
Be
Right.
proactive instead of reactive, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Great advice, man. We put out some pretty good advice tonight. Okay. And for people who are even for people who are not into the cryptid research and stuff, this is the things that we are talking about tonight are important for your everyday life. Okay, a very everyday life. Have some friends that you can call on if you need some help and stuff. Train with your friends in case with your neighbors and stuff in case you need to lock down your neighborhood in case of some kind of an emergency. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm just saying for in case we have like a natural disaster or something. Know who you can trust on your block,
That's a fact.
right?
Yeah.
My son's already cased out the whole neighborhood. My son did when we first came here. He had like a map. He had a map with all the houses, and he was like, "Yeah, this dude's got this, and that guy's this." And I mean, he actually went up to my neighbors and was like, "Do you have guns? Can I trust you?" Is what he said.
Well,
So
yeah, not too. If you guys throwing out there being prior law enforcement, if you guys are moving somewhere, before you guys move somewhere, you guys can actually call the police precinct, and you can, or if you know somebody, you can ask them, "Hey, I'm thinking about going to this area. What are your calls like in that area? You guys go out there a lot? What kind of calls you guys get out in that area?" And that kind of gives you a heads up. So
yeah, Rain said, "Thanks, Drew. Scott, my husband, 82nd Airborne, comes with me. Does that count for that piece of equipment?"
you're damn right it does.
Oh my gosh,
Brains, man, knowledge
you're
transfer. That's
safe.
that's the best thing. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
definitely safe. So
Yeah, you're
God bless
safe. I
them.
don't think you have anything to worry about. She says, "He's my super soldier."
Atta
I
girl,
love that.
yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah,
Right
that's
on, right
awesome,
on.
man. All right. Well, this has been a great show, Drew. Thank you so much for being here. Can you tell the audience about your podcast and whatever you want to tell? Let's advertise it right now. Put it out there.
Okay, right on. Hey guys, yeah, my name is Andrew. We'll say, but people call me Drewski, but yeah,
Drewski.
real name's Andrew. But yeah, if you guys could, yeah, you guys can check me out on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I got a podcast. It's called Cryptid Warfare. There it is, Cryptid Warfare. Yeah, so you guys can find me on YouTube, Facebook, and I'm really highly moving on Instagram a lot. If you guys want to talk, chat with me, that's actually where I'm most at is on Instagram. So other than that, you guys can write me an email. You guys got any prayer requests or you guys got any cryptid problems? Let me know. If you guys need anything, at all, just hit me up. It's cryptidwarfare@gmail.com. That's cryptidwarfare@gmail.com. And that's all I got. So take care and God bless. That's all I got.
Awesome. Thank you. Now, I love your daily devotionals. It's amazing. You do such a great job and very inspirational. And what do you have in your future coming up? I know we got some hunts planned and uh what is your future like? Are you going to expand your cryptid repertoire? Like maybe start taking people out and stuff maybe?
Yeah, I
On
am.
cryptid hunts?
Yeah, so I'm actually starting a business. It's called Cryptid Warfare Operations and Survival. So that's gonna it's gonna be an umbrella of course, my podcast, but also too, whenever we go out on hunts, I'll be taking a select few people for a thanks, Duke, for a yeah for some coinage. But yeah, if you guys do decide to come out, all you guys will have to worry about is bringing clothes. Like we will provide everything else when it comes to food, shelter, security, stuff like that. We just want you guys to go out and just have a good time. So, and other than that, yeah, I'm a big prepper. So, eventually in the works, I'm going to be putting out prep bags when it comes to just your EDC, everyday carry, or if you guys are going out cryptid hunting, right? It could be for whatever mission you guys want to decide to go on. Bigfoot, Dogman, Skinwalker, Wendigo, Chupacabra, whatever. Yeah, so each bag would be have a specific set of tools in there to help you guys, when it comes to casting or anything like that. IFACs, whatever. So yeah. So
I
yeah, that's
love
all I
that.
got.
Okay, he said all you have to bring is your clothes. Please bring clothes. Okay, it's not a nudist type
Yeah.
of deal, y'all. You got to bring your clothes.
Well, that's
Okay.
what we'll do. We'll just use you as bait. We'll put honey all over you until you start running that way.
If you don't bring your clothes, you will be bait. Okay, I'm just saying. Oh my god,
Yeah, I know, right?
that is too funny.
Uh,
I know. We're kidding, y'all. We're kidding. Okay, so Rain does have a prayer request. Okay, I would love for you to keep my mom in your prayers tonight. She has dementia. We are her caregivers. Tonight, she asked if we had seen her husband who passed in 2015. So,
oh,
Rain, we will
100% right.
absolutely keep your mom in our prayers tonight. So, thank you. for that. And yeah, if anybody else has any, let us know. Okay. And yeah, this has been fantastic. And I can't wait to get back out in the woods with you, Drew. And what do you have coming up? You got shows on your YouTube channel. What's your next interview?
The next interview is going to be coming out, of course, Tony Merkel.
Okay.
Oh, I don't even got my planner. I got one. I got to look at my planner. Like I'm like literally locked up till October. I got to look. You know how it is. Interviewing people, you get mixed up on who's what. So.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
do. Well, I look forward to that confessionals podcast coming out. That's going to be a banger. Okay.
Great.
And yeah, come back and hang out with me again. This was fun.
Oh,
okay.
For sure, 100%.
We'll do it again. We'll bring some of the guys from the team over sometime
You know
too.
what?
We'll
Let's
bring them on.
let's do that one day. Let's yeah, I'll
Let's do a
definitely have all my
roundtable.
guys in and do a round table for sure.
Let's absolutely do it.
And
I'm
I'll
down
I'll
anytime.
just sit back and enjoy the show. Watch them just go at it with you.
Right.
So
Heck yeah. We'll plan on it. That sounds like a plan. All right. Well, everybody, thank y'all so much for being here tonight. This has been wonderful. Yeah, I had some weird stuff that went down tonight, and I had to become the sheriff. Somebody was putting, I was a sheriff. I was a sheriff. Sheriff Jessica. Yeah, I had to handle a situation today, but it's all good. All the stuff that I've been taught and trained in through the cryptid research too came in handy today when that happened to me. So I want to thank everybody for being here. And Rain, thank you so much for that super sticker. I thank you. I love you all. We love you too, Rain. Thank you for being here. And thank you for all the comments. I want to thank everybody for all the comments tonight that you guys were giving us. I could not keep up with them. I had to skip over a ton because I couldn't keep up with the comments. So I apologize if I skipped over some of the important like questions and stuff. But I'm doing the best I can out here tonight. I really was. And so you guys come back and see me. I'll be back on Wednesday on a glitch in the Matrix. So y'all come see me there. And Drew, we'll see you over at Cryptid Warfare. You guys have a wonderful night. Stay safe out there. Keep your heads or your head on a swivel. And
on your body.
And on your body. Keep it on your body. Okay. And don't live in fear. Live in alertness and awareness. And I'm sending all my love and light to all y'all tonight. Have a great night. And I'll see y'all next week. Bye, y'all. See you, Drew.